Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurin Mardiana Humaira Binti Ruslan, and in this video, I will present to you about the case study of home network design and improvements. So as we all know, in today's world, having a strong and stable home network is very important. It helps us to do many things such as online classes, working from home, streaming videos or contents, and playing online games or using smart devices, which almost every activity in our daily life, it depends on internet access. And so due to this, it is necessary to make sure that the home network is fast, reliable, secure, and support many devices at the same time. So in this case study, we focuses on analyzing and improving the current home network to support better performance, wider coverage, and also stronger security. This case study, it is a double-story terrace house with 4 households with 10 devices that connected to the Wi-Fi, including a wired PC, a smart TV, 4 smartphones, 3 laptops, and 2 tablets. And in this household, the internet service provider is Unifi, which provides a fiber optic internet service. And the internet plan that is subscribed in this home network is the Unifi 89 ringgit with a 100 Mbps speed plan. The home network setup includes a modem and a wireless router, in which both are placed on the second floor of the double-story house. Next is the hierarchical network design for the current home network setup. So as we all know, in a well-structured home network, a hierarchical design actually helps to organize devices into layers that make the network easy to manage, scale, and troubleshoot. And it also ensures the data flow and helps to separate the responsibilities of different devices. So in this section, I will present both the logical topology and the physical network design of the home network setups. First, I will show you the logical topology. The logical topology of a home network actually refers to how devices are logically interconnected and how the data flows between them regardless of their physical location. So in this home network setup, a 3-layer hierarchical model is used to improve organization, performance, and scalability. So these 3 layers are the core, the distribution, and access layer, in which each layer have their own responsibilities in ensuring the network functions smoothly and efficiently. So the first layer here is we can see is the core layer, which is it is the foundation of the network and serve as the main point of access to the internet. So in this setup, the modem represents as the core layer, which it is directly connected to the internet service provider, which is the Unifi fiber that offers high-speed internet access to the home. And the modem will convert the incoming fiber optical signal into a digital signal that can be used by the internal network. And its primary function is to serve as a bridge between the ISP and also the router, which passes the internet signal to the next layer. Next is the distribution layer, and the distribution layer is placed between the core layer and the access layer. So in this home network, the wireless router, which is placed on the second floor, performs this role. And once the modem passes the internet signal, the router is responsible for distributing it to devices throughout the house in both wired and wireless. And the router handles network management functions such as IP address assignment via DHCP, network address translation NAT, and routing traffic between different devices. And it also provides wireless signal coverage that act as a central controller that directs the traffic efficiently. And this layer actually plays an important role in managing network performance and ensuring seamless connections between devices and the internet. And lastly is the access layer. Access layer is where the end user devices connect to the network. These include devices such as desktop PC, smart TV, smartphones, laptops, and tablets. These devices access the network either through Ethernet cables, which is the wired connections, or Wi-Fi, which is the wireless connections. The access layer is actually the most visible part of the network to the user, as it enables them to browse the internet, stream videos, or play online games. And the quality of the experience on this layer depends heavily on the performance and efficiency of the distribution layer. So in this home, actually access layer devices are located on both floors, with one device connected via Ethernet cable, which is the desktop PC, that is placed near the router, and other devices using Wi-Fi, especially the devices that are usually used on the first floor, where signal strength may actually vary. Next is the physical network design, where it shows where the devices are placed in the actual house, which is a double-story home. So the design is actually important to ensure effective Wi-Fi signal coverage and efficient cable management. And the actual placement of networking components can help in identifying the potential signal drop-off zones and making informed decisions about upgrades or reconfigurations. So the home is actually divided into 2 main network zones, which is the second floor is where the core network is located, and the first floor is where the wireless connectivity is the main focus. So the left picture is the first floor of the house, which it relies on wireless connectivity since there are no wired connections routed here. This area includes one smart TV, which is used for streaming contents, and several headphones and tablets used by the household members. These devices are connected to the Wi-Fi signal broadcast from the second floor. Even though a general internet access is available in this floor, the Wi-Fi signal strength is slightly weaker due to the distance and interference caused by walls or ceilings, which this can lead to slower speeds or buffering issues, especially when multiple devices are in use simultaneously. And the right picture is the second floor of the house. The second floor acts as the central hub for the home network. Both the modem and the wireless router actually are installed in the second floor hall to maximize the reach and strength of the Wi-Fi signal across both floors. Desktop PC is connected via Ethernet cables to ensure low latency and consistent speed, which it is actually essential for video conferencing and gaming. In addition, 3 laptops and a smartphone on this floor connect via Wi-Fi and enjoy strong signal quality due to their close proximity to the router, which this setup actually allows for a balanced distribution of bandwidth between wired and wireless devices to ensure smooth network performance during multitasking. So in this home network, there are few important devices that work together to provide internet access to all users and devices in this house. So the modem here is from the brand Unify, and the specification is which the speed is up to 100 Mbps, and it supports fiber to the home FTTH, and it supports Ethernet. And the second internet networking devices in this home network setup is the wireless router, which is the TP-Link Archer A6. The specification for the router is that it have dual band Wi-Fi, which are 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz, and the SSID for the router is Nurin at Unify, which the static IP address is 192.168.10114. Next is the cabling details, and in this home network, there are two main types of cables are used, which are the fiber optic cable and the Ethernet LAN cables. First is the fiber optic cable, which is the main cable that brings internet service into the house. The fiber optic cables are chosen to be used for the home network because they can carry a large amount of data at very high speeds, and they are also good at keeping the internet connection stable and strong over long distance, unlike copper cable, which may result in losing signal. Then, once the fiber optic cable brings the internet into the modem, the connection is passed to the router using an Ethernet cable. This is the second main cable that is important in these cabling details. Ethernet cables are used because they are reliable for transferring data between devices inside the house. The Ethernet cable will send the internet signal from the modem to the router so that the router can share the connection with other devices either wirelessly through Wi-Fi or using more Ethernet ports. There are also other Ethernet cables that is connected to the router, which is connected to the LAN 2 of the router, and it connects to the desktop PC. This setup actually gives the computer a direct wired connection, which is usually faster and more stable than Wi-Fi. Ethernet is a good choice because it helps avoid problems like weak signal or lag, especially when doing activities like working or gaming. So what is actually the problem with the current home network setup? So the first problem of the current home network setup is the weak Wi-Fi signal on the first floor, especially in the kitchen and the back guest room. Sometimes devices like smartphones or tablets cannot connect to Wi-Fi at all or have very slow internet. So this makes using the internet hard for people in those areas because website will load slowly, videos buffer or stop, and online calls often disconnect. These weak Wi-Fi signals happens because the Wi-Fi has to travel through walls and floors, and the router is far away on the second floor. Besides, actually the smart TV also have problems staying connected to the Wi-Fi. When many devices are using the internet for streaming, gaming, or working, the smart TV often buffers a lot, which making watching shows is frustrating. The second problem is device congestion. This happens because there are actually many devices are connected to the Wi-Fi at the same time. The house has about 10 devices regularly connected, including laptops, smartphone, tablets, a PC, and a smart TV. So when several people are using the internet together, especially for heavy tasks like streaming content, video conferencing, or downloading files, the internet becomes slower for everyone. Even though the broadband plan offers a speed of 100 Mbps, this speed is shared between all the devices. If one device uses a lot of data, such as streaming movie, other devices will get less bandwidth and slower the speeds. This can cause problems like video calls will freeze, slow downloads, or web page take a long time to load. The feature like quality of service that prioritize important tasks such as video meetings are not enabled in this home network. Due to this, all the devices compete equally for bandwidth, which leads to poor internet performance during busy hours. The third problem is the weak security settings. So when I checked the settings in the Fiber Home Routers admin page, it was found that the important security features such as IP filtering and MAC filtering, are not turned on, which these features are actually useful to control which devices are allowed to connect to Wi-Fi. For example, MAC filtering lets you to allow only certain devices to connect by using their MAC address. So if these filters are disabled, any devices that knows the Wi-Fi password can connect freely. This is actually dangerous because a neighbor or stranger could use the internet without permission, which not only slows down the internet for everyone in the house but also puts private data at risk. And also, the router actually does not have a guest network feature, which means that guests who connected to Wi-Fi use the same network as the main household devices. If a guest device has a virus or malware, it can actually infect other devices on the network. So a guest network helps to keep household devices safe by keeping them separate from visitor devices, but currently, this option is not set up in this home network setup. And lastly is the scalability limitations. Scalability is actually an important issue in the current network setup. So right now, the router can handle the current number of connected devices, which is around 10 devices. However, in the future, the number of connected devices may increase as more smart home devices are added, such as CCTV cameras or smart lights. These devices will need a stable and fast internet connection too. So if the router is not strong enough to support these new devices, the overall network setup will drop and the connection will become unstable. The current setup only uses one router and it is placed in the hallway on the second floor. So this placement helps with the coverage upstairs but limit the Wi-Fi coverage on the first floor, especially in the kitchen and the back guest room. So without better coverage tools like mesh Wi-Fi systems or Wi-Fi reach extender, it will be difficult to expand the network to new areas. As more interconnected devices are added, the single router setup will struggle to handle all the traffic, which causes the internet to slow down or stop working properly. So to cater all of the four problems in the home network setup, there are a few suggestions that can be done. So to improve the problem of weak Wi-Fi signals in the dead zone, the best solution is to actually add mesh Wi-Fi nodes, which this device can help to extend Wi-Fi coverage to all areas in the house, especially places on the first floor that do not get enough signal from the main router. A mesh Wi-Fi system is better than just using one router because it creates a stronger, seamless connection across the home. The nodes communicate with each other and the main router covers the whole house, even through walls and floors. In order to reduce device congestion and improve bandwidth, one way to fix this problem is by upgrading the broadband plan from 100 Mbps to 300 Mbps, which this will give more bandwidth to share among all devices. And also, the quality of service should be enabled on the router because it can help by giving priority to important activities like video calls, online classes, or work meetings. Devices like smart TV and PC that need strong and steady connections should be connected using LAN cables instead of Wi-Fi because wired connections are faster and more stable. The router security is weak because important settings like IP filtering and MAC filtering are turned off. So to make the network more secure, the settings for IP filtering and MAC filtering should be enabled in the router admin panel because this filter will help control which devices are allowed to connect to the network. And if more protection is needed, a firewall device like Firewalla or router with stronger firewall features like Unified Security Gateway can be considered to be used. These tools will give alerts and log suspicious activities and help prevent hackers from accessing the home network. As more smart devices that may want to be added in the future, such as smart lights and CCTV, the network will need to handle more connections. So to improve the scalability for this home network setup, the router needs to be upgraded to a model that supports more devices and advanced settings like VLAN, guest networks, and device segmentation. So actually, a mesh Wi-Fi system is also can be helpful here because it can grow by adding more nodes later. And this setup will allow the network to be expanded to outdoor areas like the porch without losing performance. Actually, a network switch also can be added if more LAN ports are needed for wired connections. In conclusion, having a strong and reliable network is very important, especially with many devices and users depending on the internet every day. The current network setup using Unified Fiber with a 100 Mbps plan is good, but it still has some problem. The Wi-Fi signal is weak on the first floor, there's device congestion during busy times, and the network security is not strong. So these issues affect internet speed, stability, and safety. So to solve this problem, some improvements can be made such as using mesh Wi-Fi, turn on security settings like IP or MAC filtering, and setting up guest network besides upgrading the plan to 300 Mbps and setting up a firewall. These upgrades can help to improve the performance, speed, and the security. Planning for future needs like adding more smart devices is also actually important. The home network will be more stable, secure, and ready for future use by making these changes. And that is all from me. Thank you very much.